Hey, future me. I hope you're still alive, and I hope you could forget about this very moment when you're older. I hope you learn how to solve situations like this. And I hope you're not watching this video of you right now. And if you really are watching, I know the video is kind of shit and the quality is that great, but that's beside the point. I know exactly how fucking tough it is. But remember, there are many things that you can do. Whatever you're suffering from, let's just forget about our ambitions and worries for now. If you really are facing a problem like this again, I hope you would do the things that I didn't do. I hope that you would lay down, close your eyes, and listen to what I have to tell you. Are you ready? It was the beginning of my exam. The stress hit me so hard. I was later feeling vulnerable. I had a good pep talk. Afterward, I got back to studying, but distracted myself with some browsing to keep my mind at peace. I saw this game. It was exactly what I was looking for. Chill, a life of something that isn't mine, just sentience. A rock. It seems like a much needed game to calm my mind, hence why you see the background with a rock. So that explains for the video, but fast forward in time. Bad news happened. I had to retake a class. To me, this is one of my biggest fears, and it is the utmost importance not to waste money for any of my classes now because they are damn expensive. And I was fortunately sponsored for all my classes, but I still don't want to fail any of them because for me, what I think of the situation I'm in is not exactly sponsored, but rather I owe them money. Honestly, this is just the kind of thought that's only in my mind, but this transaction is 100% sponsored. The cost that happened upon me is because of my group. I had to do a big assignment for this class, which involved group work. Anyone who do group works should understand exactly what it is like for the one to deal with the people that does nothing or very little. From this point on, it is just an interpretation of my conversation with my cousin. I consulted my cousin of this matter. I had to do it all alone, but at the end, I still failed this class, and the teacher deemed my work as violated the rules because I submitted the work with only my name and I had not consulted the group about it. The other 5 members had also submitted the work including my name in it, and only I had submitted mine with only my name. I had done 95% of the work of this project, and I have no intention of letting them pass this exam. After the gruesome 10 weeks, I had to spend fixing everything and doing everything by myself. I spent the last 6 days paraphrasing, fixing, detailing, check plagiarism, and the teacher said I have violated the rules. I added all the extra bits of opinions in there myself. I also made the data work for all of the work myself. My work was the aftermath of all of them combining, and I still failed. At this point, I muttered to my thought, it is frustrating, but I am too calm. I might break down in the later note, but now I'm calm in the head. But seeing the final result, the teacher said, this discussion ends. This work has violated the work because the group had not concluded their work together. From the beginning of the week 1 all the way to 10, I have given them instructions and guidance, and I have formulas to help them. I have done everything I can to be nice and not to let them fail. Sometimes I'm being too nice. I should have punished them and dismissed them myself. I do accept that they did do the work, but that is only 5%. There were 5 of them. One of them didn't do anything. He just sit and smile and wait. And for the other 4, only one cared, but didn't do enough work. Only started working after the midterm exam, which was week 6 in chapter 3. And the other 3, they're just messing around and hardly do any proper work or answer any of my texts when I'm in need. I shouted, I prayed for them to reply to me in the group message. But only that one guy who cared actually messaged. Although he did nothing, he still cared enough to message me back and give his opinion on the matter. I wanted to put his name in, but in the end, he still did almost nothing to contribute to the project. And I wish I could have put his name in so I wouldn't have failed this class. Nearing the end of the weeks, I let them do chapter 5 because I simply could not hold it in anymore. I couldn't shoulder the weight of the assignment and gave them another chance, and they finished it in 3 weeks when the date is due for only 5 days. Now I have to drown with them. I continue to mutter in my thought, it is frustrating. I have 2 more exams next week. I explained the situation to the teacher, but she could hardly care and just said violated the rules, and my score was nowhere to be found. All these that I'm reading out right now are all the text messages to my cousin. You can clearly hear how incoherent and messy the text is. But after all that, I continue to text my cousin. I don't want to alarm you, but I just want to end myself. But I don't want to kill myself for the sake of something so petty. It's hard being an adult. I slowly accepted my crumble and started shedding tears, but it was silent. There was only the sound of keyboard and my frustrated thoughts. During the midst of my rambling, my ranting, my venting to my cousin, I had stopped and read the message my cousin sent me. The point is, that lecturer laid out a foundation. Violated the rules means I had violated the rules. You did all this work without consulting anyone involved, so her decisions will wait. Next time I will let you know what to do if this happens again, but I need to be notified at week 1 or at least week 3. My boy struggling with group work and rules. You gotta know the game, boy. We will get them next time. Just forget about this dumb shit class for now. Depression will rise normally, but yeah, you still have something to do. But hey, they failed too, and they will fail more. At this point, words could hardly matter to me, but my cousin's words seems comforting. I said later, all those hard work for naught. My cousin replied, no, it has a purpose. I have to spend hours late at night just doing things on my own, and they dare say, why don't you tell us? I had told them since the beginning of the week, and they could not listen to further instructions. The teacher wanted the group to select a leader. I had refused to take part as the leader because summer and fun. But this summer is fucking rough. During the storm of messages, I read from my cousin's message, you know the worst of teamwork now. My cousin then asked, have you told the lecturer about this before doing things yourself? Cause what she meant was you haven't made her prepare alternative. Funny enough, the lecturer said this since the first week. She announced it to the whole class in her high horse demeanor. If you're too busy or if your teammate didn't do their work, kick them immediately. I didn't say anything at all, and I should have done so. I was being kind, too kind. My cousin objected my view. That wasn't being kind. Being kind means you shoulder them all in the names. You jump into a pit. After this point, I couldn't take it and felt like I couldn't breathe. I was suffocating under my own thoughts, and my heart couldn't beat properly. My body finally let loose and I cried. I only shed tears. I couldn't hiccup. I couldn't see. It's just all blurry at this point. I tried to stay active and awake from all the way I'm crashing down on my cousin. I continued to repeat what I said to emphasize my members to my cousin that the lecturer was very firm about this problem that groups of students normally face since the beginning of the week. If the group doesn't do shit, kick them. But I didn't want to do it. I gave them chances to do the things on their own. I gave proper detailed questions and instructions, it is impossible for them to work. And then I broke down, which seems to me like the most unnatural phenomenon. I was calm, my nose was runny. I wiped my tears and sniffled to stop my emotion, but it kept moving. I just stopped typing, and I could only focus a quarter of my attention to my cousin's word of advice. Yeah, but hold on for a sec. Since things gone, let it bygone. You gotta learn something from this. These guys are part of the latter Gen Z, which have typical characteristic of being sheep. Means they don't do shit, doesn't understand most shit, and demand many shit. I will teach you the things about group work, but it is better if you hear it directly. You did nothing wrong, but you didn't know how to deal with these Gen Z. It happened to, funnily enough, all of my current university students that I privately teach. The teamwork culture in this country is trash, I tell you. Most students here don't pay attention to what they learn, and that is such a hard, cold fact truth, which I wonder why I had to suffer alone every time that I had to do any form of group work. After contemplating everything at once, this is what happens to me after my mind could not handle it any longer. My hands slightly tingle and shake. Thoughts running after thoughts after thoughts after thoughts after thoughts after a bundle of more thoughts that all led till now. My civic education teacher told the class, in this country, I couldn't keep my promise to myself. I had failed my class. Only 1/3 of them myself being motivated my calling was. I wouldn't be invited to one name of that person, but I would defy a failure. But I tried so hard. The boy always had everything in his class. Seemed so ridiculous for bringing paper materials like him anytime, which violated his rules. Since the beginning, I wish way my class didn't bring shit. How do I get the teachers that nobody's helping us? Is my mother is not allowed to bring everything myself? When I know everyone have their days after I'm long gone. When I know I can't do anything and work harder. I don't want my mom to suffer too. I can't give up. It was hard. I couldn't contain my thoughts in a proper manner. I let myself go. 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 I should stop. My mind was full, but I stopped and sat quietly and felt lost. I typed out, I don't know what to do now. 3 million lost. This is making me sick. Even erroring seems easier. I did indeed felt sick. My body temperature was hotter and I could feel myself burning up. I let a little anger out while my thoughts continued to fail. I'm still frustrated. My thought was telling me solutions that had bothered me that I didn't did. Next time, I'll just straight up kick them and tell to their face to kick them. Or rather, I would just do it alone. No amount of team is enough to help me out. Everyone is busy with their own work, and whenever I needed help, I had to handle it myself, and they even dared to say, you lock yourself alone to do the work yourself. I'm the kind of person that study people's behavior and study the cause and effects of such behaviors. I like to predict future actions and solutions. In other words, I'm delusional. I have seen people in situations like I am right now. I'd really want to try and not pity myself too much because I know others also suffer the same or even harder, so I am in no position to really have a say in all this. I should have planned it more carefully. I tried to help myself back. I'm still crying, but my tears were dead silent. I didn't feel better, but I tried to make myself feel better because this is the kind of result of any normal person would feel after they broke down. But it was so difficult to maintain my composure. I read what my cousin had to say. Oh well, something learned. I failed once too. You need teamwork skills too. Clearly not taught enough in school, cause my school taught this. You lack invoking and scaring tactics. I thought I understood what my cousin meant. I knowingly studied about this kind of things in school too. I was taught about teamwork too. I personally learned scaring tactics from teachers that had to deal with classes like mine too. I didn't want to use it. As an Asian living in an Asian country, this scaring method had been used on me and I knowingly hated it, and I didn't use it for particularly that purpose. I heard of it too many times. Teachers constantly saying shit like, I'll give you a low mark so you'll be feared and all that. And I was scared by that shit and I hated that shit. I didn't want to use them because I didn't want to inflict the same trauma to those people also. Those thoughts hit me and I cried again because I was deeply traumatized by teachers that constantly threatens me on my score. Not just me, but the whole class. Almost every teachers was like that. But I know full well that other teachers will also give free points. And these teachers don't benefit me much because I didn't learn anything from the subject and I passed without doing anything. Don't get me wrong, it felt good, but I understand clearly that the situation that happens from these teachers are the sole reason why I failed, are the reason why I couldn't be smart, and are the reason why I have to suffer later. I don't want to blame them because they give me time to rest, and I think about what it's like to actually learn something that I want to learn, to actually do things that I want to do and not forced upon me. This seems very exaggerated, but my mind can only conjure up these thoughts of self-inflicting. And I don't want to be unreasonable, but I also can't help but blame myself. I can't help myself from being a Gen Z. I wish I wasn't a Gen Z. I wish I wasn't any Gen. I wish I wasn't human. Maybe being a dog could be nice. I could be a dog in Africa, starving to death and suffering as a dog, rather than suffering with my humanity and thoughts. At this point, I just couldn't take it anymore. There was just too much to think. There was just too much weight on me, and I read a reply from my cousin. Nope. This gave me a slight hope that everything I have thought about threatening people to do their homework when in the group was completely wrong. I wish I could have known about this earlier. I could have avoided all these problems and passed my exam. My 50% score was so low because of these people. I needed a high score for my final test to really pass the exam. According to my cousin's message, it's not about threatening them like how my old teachers threatened me. It was about sensing common problems, solving it with a bit of motivation. This to me seems like one of those cliche and foolish lessons that was so damn obvious. You know that the situation when people say the most obvious shit, but you already found out about it yourself, and you don't know how to continue from that step? Well, my cousin then hit me with, you have a tendency to see things as virtually binary, so that it is hard to see some approaches to do teamwork. I didn't really know what virtually binary means. I googled it. It is called binary thinking. It refers to a person having a simplified mindset where I just put, complex issue into only two distinct categories or extremes. Basically saying that I make complex shit basic to understand for myself. To put it more simply, I'm very, very biased. I think. You can see a perfect example like right now. I make complex meaning of binary thinking to a basic degree so only I can understand them. Although I think this might mean something entirely different from my point of view, I could be wrong, I could be right, I don't know it myself, but that's basically what it means. I could also be contradicting myself by actually thinking the meaning of binary thinking as literally what it is describing what I am saying right now. But that also means another thing. There is more to that one answer. Let's say the teaching method, just because we had some personal experience with it, it is not yet quickly to assume that the approach is bad or good. It is based on context. As said, these Gen Z guys currently are well affected by social media, so they have their own field of how to work. Approach and control them to the goal is what we should do. Now, I'm not saying it is our side's fault. Clearly, these people do shit. But what they said about you do things alone really is a surprising jab for both of the team and the lecturer. For example, if I could kick anyone, first, I would establish a foreground with a dead set warning limit, like 2 to 3 times, and only to a certain date or the urgency of the work, like if it's near deadline and 50% worth of the points, I would fucking kick all of them out. Notify the lecturer, send every threat to the faculty about them, not doing shit. But if it is the beginning of the time, establish a group with a set of meeting, backup meeting, a second helper with the task of tracking work, a period of social bonding for these Gen Z people, so I can see if 1. Anyone is doing part-time, 2. Who are the lazy asses, 3. Do they have problem regarding chats, 4. Do they frequently read mails or chat? Cause I'ma fucking talk in front of their faces and everybody else. Also, motivate and pressure them subtly without them feeling being threatened to, for the sake of doing nothing. And they love something done largely for them. So instead of doing all, I pick the hardest shit, then say, wow, about these, you boys know how to do them, yeah? If communication did not reach them, I call or find them directly. If they deliberately cut off communication, we know what to do. All of these are done at a span of 1 day, by the way. Reputation doesn't matter, but partial bonding is way too essential, cause we work as a team. Gotta know these guys before we fight. We don't do shit. Well, could have contacted and request group change. After compartmentalizing these ideas that was given to me, I just simply couldn't accept myself. I replied to my cousin, I still can't stop blaming myself. I haven't been angry for a long time and they pushed me over the limit. And I literally, as people clichely said, let my anger control me. This is one of those moments where I let my anger do things on their own and hope for the best. Now all I could do is think if I could have. I haven't even cleaned my room, and I don't even know how to explain this to Mom. Have you guys seen one of those videos where people say don't put negative thoughts on what you do because it will destroy you? That social media people say nowadays. I followed those thoughts and fooled myself with those ideas and it destroyed me. Obviously, I shouldn't listen to those ideas, but hearing people say things like, if you let your negative thoughts conquer you, you will be that negativity. You won't be able to do anything but think about those negative things. It kind of makes sense to me, and it created an illusion that maybe I should be more optimistic and trust myself more. Or maybe I had interpreted wrong. I deluded myself with only the good things, but I couldn't see the result of those good things when I know myself to be the most realistic person, but I was foolishly wrong. I should have dealt with a problem better, but I couldn't because I'm a dumb fucking Gen Z kid. My cousin had given me advice on uni and I followed through since the beginning, since before I even started uni, and it had went so well so far. I had strayed away from those advice because other problems starting to show that I didn't know how to deal with. I tried so hard to control my anger. I haven't been angry at anyone else without any reason to think about it over. I mostly just vent to cope with it, but no one likes ranting, no one likes venting at all. And I play games to cope with it since no one can bother me in games. It really is hard being an adult. I don't know what else would happen now. I can't trust myself without attaining information that could help me to deal with it better. But even with information, I still can't trust myself to move. I still to this day blame myself. I wish I could have done it differently. I wish I could have been more calm and say my words like a proper person. Maybe this is how I'm being punished for the bad things I did. Maybe this is my karma and I deserve it. That's the whole thing. That's the thing that broke me down. I wanted to tell this story because this is the process of what a problem would look like when it happens. Unlike those videos you see on YouTube or TikTok, this is the real deal. This is the thing you need to suffer through to solve them. And I hope you're done listening or sleep through it. It was a fucking tough time now. It is dumb to think problems like this will not happen in the future, but it will. But I hope the future me reminiscent of now and know how to deal with it better than ever. You know exactly what kind of person you are, and you might change yourself, but you and I are perfectionists when it comes to work. But just because we are perfectionists, don't let the problems get into your head. And I hope our cousin live long and prosper so we can continue to consult them with our problems. And I hope we make better friends who treat you like how you treat others. And I hope they don't judge you for all the bad things or all the misunderstanding that you've done. And I hope to never see you soon, future me. You don't need this video to solve all of your problems. There are better ways too, and it's hard, but I hope you find some way to figure it out.